It's time now for an in-depth look at the market action on this Monday, and for that I'm joined on the line by Dr. Hwang Sei-woon, Research Fellow at the Korea Capital Market Institute. Dr. Hwang, thank you for coming on as always.
Thank you for inviting me today, too.
So Korean stocks have now more than wiped out all the gains they'd seen this year. The KOSDAQ back to where it was in around January 2015, the Kospi below 1950. What's the story in Korea today and elsewhere?
Asian shares slid to 6-month lows on Monday, and the Chinese yuan slumped to a more than decade trough as a rapid escalation in the Sino-U.S. trade war sent investors stampeding to traditional safe harbors, including the yen, bonds, and gold. Markets have been badly spooked since U.S. President Donald Trump abruptly declared he would slap 10% tariffs on $300 billion worth in Chinese imports, ending a month-long trade truce. In response, China's yuan burst beyond the psychological $7 per dollar threshold in a move that threatened to unleash a new front in the trade hostilities. Seoul stocks extended losses on Monday as investors offloaded large-cap stocks amid growing concerns over trade tensions between the world's two largest economies and South Korea's own row with Japan. The benchmark Kospi fell 2.56%, while Japan's Nikkei dropped 1.74%. Kosdaq market fell 7.46% as of close, and sidecar, a brief trading suspension for market stabilization, was activated for a minute at 2:09 in the afternoon.
Got it. Now, the Korean won is also at the weakest it's been against the U.S. dollar in at least more than 2.5 years, crossing the 1,200 threshold today. It doesn't seem like the causes of this are going to be solved in the short run. So how high is the exchange rate going to go?
In the face of the escalating American-Sino trade war, its own trade feud with Japan, and its worsening economic conditions, South Korea's currency is set for further slide in the coming weeks, probably touching the 1,251 threshold temporarily. After opening at 12.03 per dollar, the local currency expanded its losses against the dollar on news that the Chinese yuan fell to the lowest level on record against the greenback on growing worries that the world's two largest economies sparring over trade may continue longer than expected. The local currency began to slide despite a recent U.S. rate cut, usually a source of weakening for the greenback. Trump administration's move to impose additional imported tariffs on Chinese goods is prompting concerns of a global economic slowdown, which in turn strengthens the dollar. However, the exchange rate is expected to remain at around 1,200 won, as the local authorities are expected to take active steps to stabilize the market.
Now, this week we can expect to learn some more from the government about how they're responding to the Japan whitelist decision. Also, the finance ministry releasing some figures on the economy. What can we look ahead to this week?
These are some key events to watch out for this week. On Tuesday, the Bank of Korea will release the balance of payments in June. Current account surplus has been shrinking down due to deteriorating commodity balances amid falling semiconductor prices. The BOK will also disclose its minutes of the monetary policy decision meeting in which it cut the benchmark rate last month. On Wednesday, the government will carry out business sector briefing sessions in order to minimize the impact from the Japanese export restrictions. The Ministry of Strategy and Finance will release the August fiscal report, which includes fiscal revenue and expenditure along with fiscal balances. This year, we will see the end of the tax revenue boom due to declining business cycle. On Friday, the Ministry of Strategy and Finance will release the latest Green Book. The government has recently diagnosed that our economy is slowing down for 4 consecutive months. Investors are interested in what diagnosis will be made this time under the Japan's export restrictions.
Indeed. All right, Dr. Hwang, that's where we'll have to leave it today. Thank you for your insights this afternoon.
Thank you very much.